everyone. I'm here with Erinn Morgan from Eyecare Business, and she's going to tell us all about the latest spring trends.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Spring and Summer's 5 Biggest Fashion Trends presentation. Thank you for joining us. And my name is Erinn Morgan, and I am the Editor-in-Chief and Editorial Director of Eyecare Business Magazine. Are you guys all familiar with Eyecare Business? We have copies on the chairs for you if you'd like to take one home. We also have copies of the trend presentation, so all our trend boards that we'll show you today, if you'd like to grab one to take with you, that has all of our key trends that we're going to cover today on that board. So we just did this same pop-up talk over in the Opticon Hub, so we're very excited to be here, and we're all warmed up because we had a practice run. So we are here to talk about fashion trends, and my first question is, why should you care about fashion trends for your business? If you have an optical shop or you work for an optometric practice, why do you care about fashion trends? So I'm going to answer that question in a minute, but I'll start with a quote, one of my favorite quotes from fashion designer Marc Jacobs. He once said, "The customer is the final filter. What survives the whole process is what people actually wear. I'm not interested in making clothes that end up in some dusty museum." So the concept is, from a product perspective, you want to have an assortment for your optical shop that people are actually going to wear and that fits in with fashion trends and what's going on with style, because that will greatly improve your sales and help you really appeal to your client base and your customer. So every year we do this amazing broad survey. It's called our Frames and Sunwear Survey. Eyecare Business puts it out to all our readers. It goes out to our list of 40,000 eye care professionals across the country. And what comes back is information on what's selling and how they're selling. And one point that I wanted to make is that in our most recent 2018 study, eye care professionals rank frame styling as the second most important feature for what they can when they're considering the products that they buy for their optical. The first, number one feature is construction quality, and the number 3 is performance. So styling is right up there at the top for what's important. As I'm sure you all know, fashion is a very important business. It's a $1.2 trillion a year global industry, more than $250 billion spent annually in the U.S. on fashion and clothing and accessories. So a recent study, I found the statistic is that 59% of American women seek fashionable, trendy items when shopping. So these are all the reasons why style and trends really matter, and understanding fashion trends doesn't just make good fashion sense, it makes good business sense for your business. So a quick get to know who's here in the audience. I just want to ask if you could raise your hand if you're an optician. And raise your hand if you're an optometrist. And if you could raise your hand if you work for an optical shop or you work for any kind of practice. Great, thank you. Thanks for being here. And I'll really quickly introduce, this is our associate editor, Carrie Ann Ramo, and she helped today pull together all of our eyewear that we're going to show here. So I'm going to talk about each of the trends, and then this is Annabelle Little from Wilhelmina Models here in New York City, and she is going to model the eyewear and walk around so you can see what we've chosen to illustrate each trend as I talk about it. Okay, so we will get started. Okay, so our first trend is fiercely floral. So a lot of fashion designers showed floral on the runway, a huge trend. As you can see, it's one of my own personal favorite trends for the season. And Annabelle is modeling a Dolce & Gabbana frame from Luxottica. And if you look at it, obviously, you're going to see that it has a floral pattern circling the rim. Now that, if you could just hold it up there for a second, that actually is a clip-on rim. So you can clip that off and then it flips over and it's black on the other side. So it's a really unique, it's not a clip-on sunglass, it's a clip-on rim that just changes the look of the frame. The second frame she's going to model is a Kate Spade optical style from Safilo, and it has a really pretty floral pattern on the temples. and a black frame front. And Kate Spade is really, the queen of whimsical florals, so she's perfect for this trend as well. And then the next frame that she will model is a very innovative Giorgio Armani sunglass. If you look closely, there's a very cool floral pattern on the lenses themselves. And we see a lot of this happening. I don't know if you've all seen this at the show, but there's a lot of innovation and art going on the lenses. And we've seen logos like Fendi has their F logo all over their lenses, and it's a really gorgeous new trend. So this style is a crimson optical style with a leaf-like cutout along the temples. This is from Fish UK from West Group. So really fun. As you can see, this trend ties in very, very well with eyewear. It's easy to wear. You can either go wild like the Dolce & Gabbana, or you can have just a hint of it on your frames. So the second trend we're going to cover, we loved this trend so much that we made it our fashion feature in our issue that we have here. So if you flip to kind of the middle of the issue of our Eyecare Business March issue, it's called Whiteout. And this whole trend ties in with this amazing trend that happened on the runway. Very white, very ethereal, a lot of maxi dresses and lace and flowing and really pretty feminine styling. And we found so much eyewear that really ties in very well with this. So the first style that Annabelle's going to show you is from Dorigo Rem. It's from their Police collection. And it's a white sunglass with subtle metal details. And it's kind of a little bit of an off-white. We see in this white trend, even in clothing, that there's off-white, there's pure pristine white, there's chalky pinks, kind of transparents, crystals, all kinds of innovation in this trend. So this is a Prada sunglass from Luxottica, and it pairs a bold circular front in white with gray temples and chunky cutouts. That's definitely one you cannot miss. But it also has that very kind of feminine and ethereal look to it. The next style she will show you is a Bobbi Brown style from Safilo, and that's that kind of chalky look that we are talking about. It's this one is called the Michelle, and it features acetate in an earthy, ethereal, kind of chalky, smoky hue. And then she will wear a semi-rimless combination frame by Fish UK from West Group. This actually, you'll have to look at the top bar. It has kind of this beautiful fiber details embedded in the acetate. And that gives it that very ethereal look. And we saw a lot of this look come down the runway from Stella McCartney to Prada. Just really pretty looks. That also, this is another trend that ties in very, very well with eyewear. So this is a super fun one, and you won't miss this one either. This we called Logo Love, and if you see people walking around now, I mean, the logos were so huge in the 80s, and then they went away, and even in eyewear, we really just didn't see a lot of logos. People were really underplaying their logos, and now they are front and center, and that goes for clothing, where if you can see these runway shots up here from Gucci to Moschino to Balenciaga, the logos are plastered all over the place. So this first style that Annabelle will model is a Roberto Cavalli from Marcolin, and if you look at the temples, there's a circle logo of RC for Roberto Cavalli, and it's just got surrounded by crystals. So very pretty. It's still a subtle logo, but it's very beautiful and it stands out. And the next style, and you'll see this on the temple as well, is a Moschino style that has kind of a 3D, kind of a little bit off the temple logo for Moschino on that beautiful red frame. It's a very eye-catching trend and really fun. We've seen a lot of bags. I see one in the front row here from Moschino. Some really fun logo items out there today. And this frame is, and if you'll look at I'm not sure if you can really see it on the side, but it actually says, "I love my D&G eyewear" on the side of the temple. So it's Dolce & Gabbana, but very, very fun. It has kind of some graffiti or doodle inspired art on the side of the temple, along with that fun logo from Dolce & Gabbana. And now she will model a Carolina Herrera optical frame. So this is a little more subtle as well. It has a kind of a logo plaque on the side that just has that CH for Carolina Herrera, but several times it becomes kind of like a design element on the frame itself. Okay, and we also have, I see lots of plaid in the audience as well. And I don't know if you folks have seen this at the show, but we're seeing lots of great ladies walking around in plaid suits and plaid pantsuits and plaid blouses, and really beautiful. This is a great trend. And what's happening with the eyewear for this trend is that it's very kind of, it just complements the plaid. It's kind of a style staple. It just goes with it. It doesn't fight with it. We're not really seeing any plaid eyewear yet. So I'm not sure if that's to come. But so this first model that she is going to show you is also from Fish UK. It's an optical style from West Group. It's a champagne colored frame with metal temples and acetate temple tips. So really pretty. And we're seeing, as you can see from the trend board here, you've got the really, classic plaid, the iterations of plaid, and then also this really wild, vibrant color plaid, which is super fun in yellows and blues. So the second style she will show you is a Furla style from Dorigo Rem, and it has a really chic front. It has 3 layers of acetate on the frame front, and it has a kind of balanced off by a very lightweight metal temple with the signature logo of the brand. And then the next one she'll show you is a rag and bone style from Safilo. And this would look really great with plaid. It's a very classic retro style, but really modernized by Rag & Bone. And that brand is launching here at the show, and they have just done such a great job with the design. We just photographed it. They're on our cover of the magazine this month, and it's a really fun collection. Okay, and the last one for the plaid trend is a Gant optical style from Marcolin. And this is a very timeless tortoise. Tortoise is such a great classic, and that fits perfectly with plaid. And it has a nice, really pretty shape. Okay, and our last women's trend is pleasant purples. And we had a fun time with this in our last talk, and someone actually knew the Pantone color number for the purple that they've called the color of the year. So this first style that she will show you is the Polaroid sunglass from Safilo, and obviously very purple. It works really well in sunglasses. It's kind of surprisingly easy to wear. So this just has a really kind of fun pop of purple with 2-tone colors on the sunglass. And the second one is an optical style from Fish UK. So this just has kind of a really beautiful hint of purple on it, and especially the temples are very pretty and very delicate. So Pantone named ultraviolet as their color of the year for this year in 2018, and and interestingly, it's a different kind of purple. It's really a deep, rich, kind of almost space age looking purple. And as you can see, the designers on the runway kind of interpreted that more into lilacs and lavenders. And I think that's, probably much more wearable for the long run. Yes, so this next style is a very feminine sunglass by Guess. So that is from Marcolin, and it has a deep purple colored front and lavender temples. Really pretty. And so this purple is kind of the next generation of the millennial pink that was so popular last year. And this is the next step up from the pink. It's a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit more appealing to a wider variety of ages. So this last one here is a Chopard style from Dorigo Rem. Very pretty purple frame front. It has kind of some shimmer and glitter in the frame as well, which is very elegant. It really adds a really pretty look to it. Yeah, makes purple very easy to wear. Okay, so now we just added in a bonus trend, well, 2 trends for men, because obviously men are part of the mix. And these are, take it with a grain of salt because there's some wild trends for men, but they will boil down into a certain way. So Annabelle's going to show you the eyewear for the men, but because so much is unisex these days, and what we're seeing from all the different collections, everything is unisex. But this is a super fun frame. This is from Prada. This is Prada, yeah, from Luxottica. And Carrie Ann coined this school bus yellow, which it really, really is. So that fits with our saturated suits trend over here on the right of the trend board. So we saw a lot of suits in these kind of crazy colors, pinks and burnt oranges coming down the runway. And obviously that's not, for every man. But it is something that we'll probably see show up in ties and shirts and suit jackets with jeans, and there's a way to wear it that is more, kind of translatable for everyone. So this second frame that she will show you walking around is a D² 2 style from Marcolin. Really cool frame. It's a traditional pilot look in a semi-rimless shape, and it's topped off with a double bridge. So it has that kind of little bit of the burnt orange color to it that fits so well with that saturated color trend. And the other trend that we really love for men was retro in short. So I'm sure you've seen it, a lot of retro and vintage inspirations in eyewear and in clothing coming around right now. And this model is a Marc Jacobs sunglass from Cephalo, and it is in a really cool vintage shape with 2-tone blue highlights. So that also fits with the saturated suits trend. But this retro trend, I don't know if you can see on the trend board, but we're seeing shorter shorts for men and some kind of real fun, like these old windbreakers and throwback styles and silhouettes for men in clothing. And we're seeing that in eyewear quite a bit as well. So those are our trends for right now, and we thank you for joining us, and I really appreciate it. We're going to open it up to questions in a minute, and I have a little giveaway, but I wanted to finish off with a quote, and one of my favorite quotes, and this is from Lauren Hutton, who was one of the original supermodels, and I don't know if you all remember Lauren Hutton Eyewear from a while back, and we had the privilege to meet her and to photograph her for Eyecare Business many years ago. But this quote from her says, "Fashion is what you're offered 4 times a year by designers, and style is what you choose." So there's a lot to choose from here, but what your own style and what's right for your customer and your patient and your business is what you choose, and that's what's really going to make the difference and make all the difference for your business. So thank you for joining us, and I'm just going to open this up to questions. And so we have this kind of super fun, I'm just going to put down the mic for a minute and show you. You want to show it? It's a great, oh, you can take the post, you're the poster girl. So it's really fun for the optical. It's a famous eyewear poster, and there's all kinds of different celebrities' eyewear that they have worn throughout the years, and it's a great one to hang up. So we're going to give this away to the first person to ask a question. So if anyone would like to ask a question, just go ahead and raise your hand and we will give away the poster. I got one in the back here.
I want to know which trend you think has the most staying power. So a trend that becomes famous.
That's a great question, and thanks for asking that. And that is a very good question. I would say it's probably not short shorts and pink suits for men. I would probably say that, and purple, that's a trendy thing that'll come and go. Plaid's always classic. That's going to come and go. The logos won't last forever. That's a short-term thing. And the floral has actually been around for several seasons now. We saw it last spring, but it's different. And this spring, than it was. And we even saw it for winter, a lot of winter florals. And what's happening this spring, and I explained that in the last talk, is we're seeing a lot of this black background for the florals now, and that's making it more modern and different. But what I would say is the longest lasting one is going to be the white. I think you've seen all the white booties and mules, and white's just becoming, you don't have to wait till Memorial Day anymore. I think we're going to see that white and that kind of really feminine, pretty look a little bit more. Would be my take. Yeah, thanks for asking. Anybody else?
We tend not to see a lot of trends as it relates to optical frames for male, but as it relates to optical frames for male, what's really the trend there?
For men?
Yeah.
I would say, and I think the one that's going to have the longest staying power is the retro trend that we showed. So for men, I mean, obviously the aviator, is so strong for men and women, but I think there's a lot of like this one, like the rag and bone. I think that's, even the crazy school bus yellow Prada like has that vintage throwback. But I think those kinds of, that retro, that is going nowhere fast. I mean, you're going to see that for, seasons and seasons to come. So I think for men, and I think it's very wearable, for men, and I think a lot of men like that. Even if they're older, they used to wear those, those styles, and they like them, and they look good. They look good on a lot of people. Yeah, that would be my take. Anyone else? Awesome. Well, thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. And if you didn't get trend boards, feel free to give me your card and we'll email them to you, or, feel free to come on up if you have any other questions. Thank you very much.